Hey everyone, it's Russell James, but y'all can call me RJ. So, I've been under the weather lately, so no new travels this week, but I wanted to show you guys one of my favorite places to explore. It's a ghost town along the banks of the Suwannee River, so come along and enjoy. You may recognize this clip from my opening credits. This is the Hillman Bridge, constructed in 1925 and decommissioned in the 1980s. This is your gateway to the ghost town of Ellaville, located along the banks of the Suwannee River. Ellaville was founded by future Florida Governor George Franklin Drew in 1861, where he established a highly prosperous lumber mill. In its heyday, Ellaville had a population of up to 1,000 people. The town began to decline in the late 1890s when the lumber mill was shut down. In the early 1920s, Henry and Pearl Nogle established the Suwannee River store and Ellaville's Camp Suwannee. Sadly, a year after the store opened, Henry was murdered. The store continued on and later evolved into a restaurant and later a gator pen before it closed in the 1980s. A couple years back, I was able to take a tour of the ruins of this store with a fellow YouTuber, The Road Abides. As you can see, the crumbling ruins of the Suwannee River store are overgrown and hidden in plain sight. It's hard to believe that this was once part of a prosperous town. Now, very little remains. During this adventure, we hiked through the forests of Ellaville, along the banks where the Suwannee and Withlacoochee rivers meet. And eventually, we found the ruins of the mansion that belonged to former Governor Drew. Once a towering figure of opulence, this lavish mansion, complete with botanical garden, was abandoned when Drew became the governor of Florida in 1876, before burning down nearly a century later after years of neglect and vandalism. Located along the confluence of the Suwannee and Withlacoochee rivers, Ellaville fell victim to heavy flooding throughout the years, most notably in 1927. That, combined with the loss of the mill, the Great Depression, and World War II, led to the town's ultimate demise in 1942. Across the river and over the railway, you'll find what remains of Ellaville's sister town, Columbus. Like Ellaville, Columbus was a thriving industrial town alongside the Suwannee River. In fact, it did so well that the railroad bridge was a target of strategic value during the Civil War. Anticipating a fierce battle, the soldiers dug up a fort to defend the bridge. However, the invading forces were stopped in Olustee. At the Suwannee River State Park, you can explore what little remains of the town of Columbus, and you could spend a day on the Suwannee River. Listen to the whispers of these sister towns as they tell you their stories. The old Stagecoach Road was once an important route where the people of Columbus got their supplies from. Hiking across this road will take you to the Cemetery of Columbus, one of the oldest cemeteries in North Florida, and one of the last vestiges of this town. Here lies the stories of the people who called Columbus home. One of the last generations to live in Columbus actually wrote a book called Yesterday in Old Columbus. Only one copy can be found at the Suwannee River Regional Library in Live Oak. Though Columbus and Ellaville are now whispers of the past, if you stop and listen, you can still hear the workings of the lumber mill, the whistle of the steam train, and the chatter of friendly neighbors way down upon the Suwannee River. Happy travels, y'all!